Music louder than all hell, as it should be. This is going to be my most insane lift. Hamstrings, calves, maybe just a little something, something extra. But frankly, I'm fine with that because this is the best hamstring standing curl and seated curl that I have ever felt. And that may be an exaggeration just because it feels so good now, but it does feel pretty fucking good. So I think a few sets heavy single leg, and then once I'm pre-exhausted, some double leg should be a good, well, let's just say next movement. Okay. Oh, fuck. Yeah. 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 Okay. Few more. Fuck. One more. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to laying, or no, seated curls. Okay. Okay. All right, I'll make this a double leg set, but not in a traditional sense. I'm not just going to do straight up rep after rep after rep. I'm going to hold it a little bit, kind of do a half rep pause style. So you're going to see it in 2 seconds, but it'll look like this, right? Halfway, hold it for just a moment, then finish. And something about that, I mean, if you get trouble really flexing your hamstrings, mind muscle connection style, I do think doing sets like this will help you. I'm not going to say they're necessarily more effective than a regular straight set or whatever, but they might help you contract a little bit harder. I like these with leg extensions, bicep curl, occasionally pec deck. Oh, whatever. Just do hard sets. That's all that really matters. Okay. Holy fuck. Let's do some leg curls. Hamstrings are 80% of the way cooked. They're just a little bit rare. They're a little blue. I need to get them up to a perfect 127.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Any googie, I don't remember. The sous vide steak guy. If you ever see his videos, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So a little bit more of a brutish set than normal. Like those first, well, not even the first few, most of the sets I even did today were kind of like reasonably controlled, pause at the bottom. But Sam, why'd you do that set all fucking loosey-goosey like? And there's kind of logic to it, you know? Like when I do a set that's real fucking controlled and like I'm methodically squeezing, like sure, it's a good set. But I don't know if it's just for me personally, but I do get, I don't even know if it's just a better pump, but when I finish a workout with kind of a nasty set like that, even with lighter weight, it just fucking pumps me up, man. So I'm not thinking about any scientific logic or exercise science reasoning. I just know, okay, when I do a set like this, it feels good and I get a crazy pump. And frankly, I think that beats anything that's kind of based on studies or whatever, you know? Don't just take that for everything. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, figuring out what works for you, that's the fucking best way to do it, man. Instead of just following a fucking, you know, trailblazed path, which maybe wasn't made specifically for your build or your training style or your muscle response to training or whatever, you know, trying shit out for yourself, seeing if it works, and then adjusting accordingly. I think that's the best way to go about coming up with a good training plan for you. But let's do some calves, and then I'm all done. A little bit of a back half of the leg day, except for glutes. Never any direct glute work. I'll just record the one. These are all going to look the same too. Okay. A few more, then it cuts a little pose down. Okay, can you see? Let's see how to touch. There we go. Okay, so hamstrings pumped, but it's been a few minutes since I've finished them because I was doing calves. So hamstrings may be a little bit less pumped than peak, but calves should look pretty good. So hypothetically, this should be the smallest that my quads ever look. Because my hamstrings and my calves should be extra big by comparison since, you know, they're the ones that got worked. So, fuck. Hopefully they don't look that small. So yeah, I mean, this was not the most glamorous day. And that may just be because I'm just maybe a complainer. Because it is a little bit more fun to train chest and to train arms and quads. But just because the lifts may not be the most exciting thing in the fucking world doesn't mean that you shouldn't still go fucking hard on it. I mean, come on. Like, as much as I can or as much as I could say, yeah, it's more fun to do quads or it's more fun to do arms and chest and whatever, I still want bigger hamstrings. And you guys, you got to remember, there's only one way to get any muscle bigger, and that's to fucking train it directly. So, how we're, oh, I mean, that's not nothing for sure. It's kind of a weird booty shot doing this from behind, but that's certainly a pair of fucking hamstrings and calves. Oof. Ooh, yeah, I fucking love it. Standing from the side too. Eh, could be crazier. This is super cool when you can stand here with your legs straight and your hamstrings are like bulbous behind you. Because my quads are kind of like that. They're sort of, sticking out in front of the median line of my legs. But my hamstrings, not so much. So they definitely need some more fucking work. Let's oh, now I just want to recreate that fucking Arnold pose. And this lighting should make it look extra cool too. So let's see how we oh yeah, there we go. Oh. If that's cool, it'll just be the thumbnail again. But quads, certainly not small for sure. But look, lower body, legs always need more fucking work. Do not even think that they don't. So let's just run through a few more, just fucking kind of random ones. And then we can actually freaking roll. Let's see. Ooh. We there's an open bodybuilder here yesterday who we were watching post down. I got some work to do. Let's just say that. But hamstring complete. I definitely feel like they got work to the point where when I go home and eat some fucking sandwiches and treats and juice and everything else, they are going to be subject to growth. But let's get out of here and probably cut to probably just the fucking hotel room couch again. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't wait to unpack the tripod and everything else. So half of this pizza is already gone. The cheese half. Is this normal? Are there no banana peppers in the UK in Papa John's? I asked him, I'm like, okay, can I get half pepperoni, half banana pepper? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And then this Gatorade tastes a little bit more tart as well. Right? Things, as much as things stay the same, they're just slightly different. Not in a bad way, of course. We stopped at a gas station on the way back from the gym too. That's why I got a bunch of treats and like Pringles and Gatorades and a couple of yogurty drinks. But I got real food too. I mean, I'm looking at 3 grocery bags over there of like deli meat, bread, mustard, mayonnaise. Just packed myself some turkey sandwiches like in elementary school for tomorrow. But you gotta remember, food's food. Look, I in no way am I saying that you should just eat fucking absolute garbage all the time. Right? Honestly, the only reason I do it is just because it's easiest for me to get down when I'm bulking up. So in a bulking context, I've got a furnace right in here. Even though it's not spewing out smoke, I've got a furnace, and I'm trying to feed that fire to burn hot. So the amount of energy which I need to eat in a day and gain weight, let's say it's right here. Right, it's right about here. Now, if I were to super go crazy and exceed that amount, like this is probably 5,000 calories. Up here is probably like 8,000. If I were to try to eat 8,000 and eat an amount of calories that was far beyond necessary for muscle growth, and supporting my training and everything else, then I would probably feel terrible, be putting on loads upon loads of body fat. Insulin sensitivity would go absolutely to the ground, right? Crash of, when did Bitcoin really drop? Like it hit 70 and then dropped to like 20. When did that, like that sort of level crash, it would be just no fun, right? So as long as I'm within that limit of an amount of calories which I am actually going to be able to make use of,
then I don't mind too much if some of it's kind of from junk food. But again, that's partially just because that's my own personal preference, and also I can kind of tolerate it. When I was just talking to, actually I was just talking to Greg. It was me, Greg, and Lex Little. We were all down in the hotel lobby. It was kind of a meeting of the minds that was kind of fun. We were just having a little chat. But we were talking about dieting, and I'm like, when I'm bulking up and I'm eating, I mean, freaking pizza like this consistently, I feel pretty good. This isn't going to make my stomach upset. I'm not going to get like acid reflux. I'm just not really prone to that. I'm going to feel full, kind of carved up, and after a good night's rest and some more Gatorade, I'm going to be nice and hydrated in the morning for arms. We're doing an early arm day. So tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow I might skip cardio, honestly. Just walking around the expo, that's going to burn some calories for sure. But frankly, I kind of sound like a baby even saying that out loud. So I think I might just do cardio at night. There's a pool too, and the hotel gym is right next to the pool. I think I ought to 30 minutes of cardio, break a sweat, and then just play around in the pool for a minute. But when I'm eating these kind of foods consistently, I'm used to it. Your body likes to be it likes things to be consistent. You shouldn't, I'm not going to say you shouldn't, but if you consistently eat, a normal amount of food or whatever, and then suddenly you throw a fucking wrench into your gears with something really crazy out of nowhere, you're probably going to feel it. So whenever I'm eating all this trash and whatever else, and I'm gaining weight consistently, and I'm not putting on too much body fat, I feel fine. But I was saying when I diet down and I'm real lean and I'm eating, when I diet down, like, I lock in. I'm not eating trash except for the occasional, like, Wendy's chicken sandwich and sometimes like a really specifically measured out amount of like ice cream or Skittles or something, right? The amount of which you can eat whatever you want and lose body fat as long as the total calories you eat in a day is in a deficit. But if you make sure you eat only 2,000 calories and you don't go over, if some of that is sweets, then you're fine. But I'm not going to make this a calorie talk. But so when I'm constantly eating what you'd probably conventionally call good food, egg white omelets, just like a plain steak without much oil, turkey, just salads. I'm eating a lot of food that will just make me feel full, plus like extra fibers and whatever else, but won't have a ton of calories. So when I'm consistently eating, let's just say healthy foods, whenever I jump, like if I were to just eat a whole pizza in the middle of like a month into a calorie deficit, I'd probably feel like trash. But I'm not necessarily sure exactly what my point is by saying that. Just kind of an observation, okay, no, I do know what I'm trying to say here. So there's a range above your maintenance calories. If you're a 200-pound lifter, you probably need to eat about 3,000 calories a day to just stay the same weight, recover from your training, maybe even a little bit of cardio, and you'll just stay the same, Now, if you were to up that to 3,500 or maybe even 4,000 to a pretty steep surplus, then even if that surplus is from, sweets and whatever else, you're still kind of close enough to your maintenance calories that you're not going so overboard and just spilling over, because you're sort of capable of only using a certain amount of calories above your maintenance before you really just start to spill over and fucking, put on way too much body fat. So I think that's all I'm trying to say there. If you, whatever, that's sort of my point. So I'll try not to talk with my mouth full. So hamstrings, not even really sore, but I can definitely tell they got worked. Calves, my calves feel kind of sore. Just flexing them right now, I can still feel a burn, even just flexing them a little. But planning for tomorrow, early alarm, 6 a.m. So it's like midnight now. So I better finish this quick and go to bed. But an early arm day with Dean, that's gonna be cool. That'll be on the Hostile channel. So tomorrow I'll probably just record the cardio or whatever. But that'll be a sweet arm day. I hear very good things. So I hope we'll be going pretty freaking hard. I'm sure the gym won't be too busy either, but I don't know. I have such a bad skill at like guessing whether or not the gym's going to be packed. Like every time I think it would be busy, dead, and then every time I think it's going to be dead, it ends up being a madhouse. But yeah, this is day 2 in Birmingham. Pretty sweet so far. We get to kind of walk around town a little bit when we were getting food. It kind of sucks because we're not, not really visiting. We're here for the convention. So really, I'm kind of locked down at the, well, not locked down, but we got a bit of a schedule to keep up to. So I don't get to really see all of the UK in its entirety and get a really good look. But everybody's super nice, if you were curious. So tomorrow, arms, followed by probably cardio after day 1 of the expo. I'm sure there'll be a bazillion pictures. So if you're curious about how that's looking, probably just go to the Instagram and look at all my tagged posts. Because if you're watching this and you're going to be there and we take a picture, make sure you post it. Because I love looking back at those, especially the goofier ones. I will say this though, I guess this only counts for anybody who's going to be there Saturday or Sunday, but I'm not going to put anybody on my shoulders this time. Because last time I did a few and I almost fell over like 3 times. The last thing I want to do is like get a stupid injury from something like that. So that's probably my only caveat. But yeah, that'll be sweet. Keep an eye out on the Hostile channel because we've got a videographer. So he's going to be kind of, clipping the whole thing really. So I'm a little spoiled. I won't have to record anything, at least in terms of the expo itself. But that'll be sweet. I need to finish this pizza off, eat a little bit more food. I don't think I stink, but shower post-gym, absolutely necessary. So day 2 complete. I'll see you tomorrow I'll see you tomorrow on the Hostile channel for arms, and I'll see you tomorrow on my channel for cardio and probably some pool action. So I'll see you then.